You manifested. You aligned. You actually felt better. And yet, nothing moved. Not forward, not backward, just still. And the fear isn't, did this work? It's, if this didn't, what am I missing? What didn't change is already happening in you. You can feel the difference internally. Your reactions are softer now. You don't spiral the way you used to. When something hits, your body comes back faster. From the inside, that matters. That wasn't imagined. That wasn't fake progress. But when you look at your life, the direction, the momentum, the way things unfold, it's uncomfortable how little reflects that shift. The same delays appear, the same situations repeat, the same sense of waiting stays quietly present. And you're not upset about it. That's what makes it hard to name. There's no urgency anymore. No emotional charge telling you something is wrong. Just a calm awareness that something should be different by now. And there's a reason this part feels so uncomfortable to admit. Because manifesting wasn't just something you tried. It was something you committed to. You rearranged your thinking around it. You monitored your inner state. You corrected yourself when doubt appeared. You learned how to feel good before anything changed. And at first, that felt like progress. You felt calmer, more hopeful, more in control of your inner world. So when nothing outside shifted, it didn't feel frustrating right away. It felt confusing. Because according to everything you were told, feeling better was supposed to be the signal, the sign that reality was already moving. And you did feel better, just not different. Your days still unfolded the same way. The same limits stayed in place. The same pauses kept showing up. That's when the doubt began forming, quietly. Because you didn't want to ruin it. You didn't want to be the person who noticed nothing was changing and accidentally pulled themselves out of alignment. So you kept going. You stayed grateful. You stayed regulated. You stayed positive. Outwardly, you looked aligned. But inwardly, there was a split. One part of you was doing everything right. Another part was still living the same life. And holding those two realities at once takes effort. That's why this phase feels heavier than it should. Not because anything is wrong, but because honesty feels risky. Not because you failed, but because questioning the promise feels like questioning yourself. Deepening the mirror. You might notice this too. Your body doesn't feel unsafe, but it also doesn't feel pulled toward anything. There's no natural lean forward, no felt signal to engage, no inner sense of now. It's like the system settled and never stood back up. Calm became the baseline. At first, that felt like relief. Then relief turned into stillness. And stillness slowly started to feel like waiting. Not anxious waiting, not hopeful waiting. Just a low-grade readiness with nowhere to go. This is usually where the quiet question forms. Not dramatically, not consciously, just a thought you don't finish. Am I overlooking something obvious? And you don't let it go much further than that. Because questioning it feels risky. Like noticing the doubt might undo what you've already done, like even naming it could pull you out of alignment and put you back where you started, so you don't think it all the way through. You stay quiet about it. Even with yourself. You might also notice something subtle happening. You start watching your inner state, checking it, correcting it, making sure you're not slipping into the wrong feeling, not forcing positivity, but gently steering away from anything that feels off. And over time, that gets tiring, not because it's hard, but because it's constant. You're calm, but you're also managing that calm, and nothing outside of you seems to respond to the effort. You did it right. This part matters. You didn't just think about change. You visualized. You assumed it was already done. You tried to feel it as real in your body without forcing it, without pretending. You weren't chasing outcomes, you weren't desperate, you weren't trying to manipulate reality. You did what you were told actually works, you didn't do it wrong. And that's why this feels so disorienting, because if you had failed, there would be something to fix, but there isn't. Feeling better is not the same as moving. Regulation isn't propulsion, calm isn't direction. Your system learned how to settle, it did not learn how to engage. So nothing outside of you reorganized. Not because belief was missing, but because the signal stayed the same. Manifestation didn't stall because you weren't aligned enough. It stalled because your body found safety without ever entering contact with something unfamiliar. Nothing new was being met. No stretch, no reach, no friction, just internal harmony, paired with external stillness. Your nervous system wasn't asking life for more, it was saying this is acceptable. And life doesn't respond to comfort. It responds to engagement. Not effort, not force, engagement. That subtle readiness to meet what isn't already known. When that readiness isn't present, reality doesn't resist you, it simply mirrors you. Most people think manifestation is about imagining outcomes, but outcomes don't move life. Signals do. And the strongest signal isn't what you pictured, instead it's how available your body is to contact something unfamiliar. When the system is calm but closed, nothing has permission to arrive. Not because it's blocked, but because there's nowhere for it to land. Right now, notice your body. Not the idea of it. The actual sensation, the weight, the contact, the subtle holding pattern you've been living inside. Nothing needs to change. Just notice whether your system feels settled or paused. That difference is small, but it's real. Because movement doesn't begin in thought. It begins when the body is ready to meet something instead of resting away from it. Nothing went wrong. Nothing needs fixing. The part that didn't change is the part that actually moves life. And once that's seen, things don't need to be forced. They begin to respond. Even with yourself.